All right, we're back. Episode 18 of Shoot the J. I want to welcome our host, as always, Tyrone Jackson to my left, Don Jackson below. We always start off with the same thing. I don't know how this is going to work for Tyrone, but what are you drinking?
I'm driving.
Well, if you're in New
So no
Orleans, you
drinking.
could drink and drive, but you're in Atlanta, so no.
Yeah.
Don?
Well, I got a little OJ with peach whiskey here from Crown Royale.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yes, it
Try that
tastes.
when I get home, man, Precious.
I got a little screwdriver here, a little OJ and vodka.
I was about to do
Yeah.
that with a twist on it.
Yeah. So
No flavored vodka, just straight vodka, no flavors or nothing like that.
just straight vodka, bro. I don't play around with all that.
Oh no, you had like a blue cheese olive the last time you had your martini, you know.
But the vodka was the regular vodka. I might have put the flavor, but it was a regular vodka though.
Okay.
So we're on the heels of the Super Bowl tomorrow. Any change in prediction? I think who picked Tampa Bay last time? Did anybody pick Tampa Bay or
I don't remember. I think I did pick Tampa Bay, but if we want to go for the prediction, I'm really gonna go for Tampa Bay because Andy Reid's son got into a huge wreck and one kid is on critical condition, life-threatening injuries. And he's not returning. He's a linebackers coach or offensive lineman coach, one of them. And that kind of stuff kind of messes up your team. Plus the fact that the barber was cutting somebody's hair, the center's hair, and the backup center's hair. And the barber tested positive for COVID. And then I found out later on, I think the guy tested positive for COVID. So there's a lot of distractions in that. And you traveling to Tampa Bay, hometown, that's a lot of things against you. So I'm going to double down on Tampa Bay.
all right, you going to Tampa Bay, Don?
I'm going KC. It started off as Tampa being the underdog, and now it seems like a lot more people are swaying to Tampa being the favorite. And all you hear these past week is about Tom Brady, and I think that's playing right into Andy Reid's hand. That Tampa Bay is being kind of overhyped for this game. I also believe that when things happen, like, okay, the linebackers coach is not arrested, but is in this accident, can't fly there. And then you have, maybe the center. I think Kansas City's philosophy has been, and we've seen it all this year and even last year, is that next man up. And if they've proven that they can have some depth in their roster and be the comeback kids. So if they do get down in this game, I'm not worried. I'm not shaken at all. I think Andy Reid is prepared. He's one of those coaches that really has been able to transfer his value set from other teams. And he just needs the players to step up. And so I still think KC is going to win it.
I agree with Don on that one. I think things like you mentioned, Tyrone, about the accident with the kids can be a rallying point for a team, particularly when a team has already won the Super Bowl the year previous, and you always need that new motivation, and you're going in somebody else's backyard, you're playing in Tampa, and you say, hey, the world has counted us out, but let us remind people who we are. We're the Super Bowl champs, and they're acting like they're the Super Bowl champs. So I think that can be a rallying cry, particularly when you need some extra motivation to go into a game. I don't think they were expected to play Tampa Bay. I think they were expecting to play either the Saints or Green Bay, to be honest with you. And I don't think they feel like they're getting the respect that they deserve when they're so to speak, kneeling to this altar of Tom Brady. You know what I mean? So I think
it's crazy. All the teams that went through the lineage of this part of the playoffs, they've all played each other. So Kansas City played Tampa Bay earlier in the year,
right.
Just like the Saints did, just like Green Bay did, So it's like it's almost like the season was preparation for the playoffs for Tampa Bay to me. But I mean, let me get it straight. I'm not rooting for Tampa Bay. I just think they're gonna win. But I really would love to see Patrick Mahomes get that second ring and can pass the torch off to him myself. That's what I really want to see.
I want to tell you, Mattress Mac, a guy who's a furniture store owner out of Houston, put $3.5 million or $3.49 million to cover Tampa on a point spread of plus 3.5. So he's saying if Tampa wins by 3.5 or more, he's going to get a payday of somewhere between $6.9 million. But the key to this is this guy has been wrong before. He bet 14 million on the Astros and lost it. So in the World Series,
14 million.
oh yes. So he kind of uses this as kind of a publicity for his company. So he runs these kind of numbers. He had to fly all the way to Colorado to download DraftKings to put that money up on Tampa because Texas, of course, you know, you don't have gambling, legalized gambling approved over there in that state yet. So we'll see. Maybe he knows something we don't know.
Well, if he wants
I need some better friends.
if he wants publicity and they lose, he gonna get it. I tell you that. Boy, that's he got some discretionary funds that I don't know anything about. I can tell you that much. If you can put that,
he's worth over. I think he's worth over 400 million.
Oh, that's nothing to him. All right, so we got Tyrone thinks Tampa is going to win. Don is picking KC. I'm picking KC. Let's admit the guests in because they've been waiting. I'm not going to let them wait another second, and I'll just let them comment on our third segment. So you can see who it is.
Mr. Ty.
Yo, gentlemen.
What's up, man?
What's up? How you guys doing?
All right.
Good.
Welcome to Todd Reynolds.
Yes, sir.
Our administrator extraordinaire.
I don't know about extraordinaire, but I'll take the administrative part.
Also,
he got reading glasses on. We get in trouble in this segment.
I need to be ready for you guys.
Also, one of my favorite boxing experts. I don't defer to too many people in boxing, but I do listen to Todd when it comes to boxing a lot. So, also one of our premier boxing experts. We're frequent Friday night fights with us every now and again as well, pre-COVID. But our topic, while we have you on, our topic now is Aaron Carter, the singer, is supposed to be fighting Lamar Odom, the NBA player, in a celebrity boxing match. What does this do for the sport? Does this promote boxing, or does this detract from guys who do this for a living and kind of, parlay their skills since they're 5-6 years old to be a professional? What does this do for the sport of boxing, and what's y'all take on the fight?
I definitely think it detracts from boxing. Being a boxing fan and an average amateur boxer, and knowing what the training takes and knowing what you go through to try and how hard it is to not only do it on an amateur level, but to do it to make a living. And I just think that it takes away from boxing. And I was thinking about this earlier. It depends on what your mindset is. If you are aficionados like us, it's not what we want to see. But if you're interested in a spectacle and some pure entertainment, then this is what you're interested in.
Okay.
I would have to point back to some other celebrity fights that, calling them fights is a stretch. Two guys in the ring slapping at each other and hugging each other is not a fight to me.
Okay. Don?
I mean, I got to agree with Todd in the fact that for us being real boxing fans, we know the preparation, we know the cornermen and everything that's involved in preparing for a big match and being strategic. And your record, your record speaks a lot about what you are and who you are as a boxer. And so when you see these celebrity guys coming in, they have no history, no record. Really, they're just fighting for pride. And like Todd said, it's going to be a slapping match. Now, I don't mind seeing a basketball player get whipped up because a lot of these ball players think they can fight. And as we saw with Nate Robinson. I hate to say it, Nate Robinson. I was pulling for Nate Robinson. Got whipped up, fighting on his toes, on the front feet, falling forward. I don't know what he was doing. But Here's another.
But that was a NyQuil commercial.
Night, huh? 41-year-old Lamar Odom versus a 33-year-old Carter, a singer at the Showboat Casino in Atlanta. Actually, this could only, for those folks who are really not fans but just want to see a sideshow. So I think it's just sideshow boxing at its best.
Tyrone?
I think boxing is killing boxing. They're not giving us the matchups that we want to have. So to Don's point about the record, the boxers are trying to protect their records. If they got a 0 at the end of the thing, they want to hold on to that. But it's not like the glory days of Hagler, Hearns, Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yes.
They fought each other. You know what I'm saying? And we want to see those fights. And the more these guys hold up, they're giving the power to the people. So the power of the people are going to say, all right, I want to see an exhibition match because I want to see what could happen. And we're definitely living in, especially with television production, a very formula-driven situation. So they see success from Tyson fighting Roy Jones, which that money was huge. They see success from Jake Paul or Logan Paul, these guys coming in and fighting and stuff like that. Then they're going to piggyback off it. We might see, Mayor of New Orleans fighting the Mayor of Atlanta one day. You know what I'm saying? Because he's exhibition.
I would recommend that for Atlanta, Jack.
Right. But here's the thing: it's like if boxing gave us what we wanted to have, we wouldn't worry about all these little side fringe benefits. You know what I'm saying? Give me a real match. Where the Charlo brothers at? Who they fighting? When they gonna fight? Canelo Alvarez looked like he picked every bum off the street. Now he finally got somebody gonna fight because that's Cinco de Mayo. But why you not giving the Charlo brothers a chance to fight? Where's Gennady Golovkin fighting with the Charlo brothers? Where's the other cat in the division? Nobody's fighting Boo Boo Andrade. Nobody's fighting him. And he's got a belt. He want to put his belt up. Come on, man, fight. I want to see Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. They did all that talk, and they're not even going to fight now. Now Garcia's want to go after Pacquiao. He want a big payday. Come on, man.
So
fight the fights we want to see.
So I agree with y'all in some ways, but I disagree in another way. I do agree that everybody's trying to hold on to their O and then not fighting everybody like we talk about the glory days of boxing where Hagler, Hearns, Duran, Leonard, all those guys, Pepino, all those guys, fought each other, okay? In another way, those guys had to fight each other. Otherwise, they wouldn't make money. So a lot of guys are taking a Mayweather strategy of making spectacles instead of the real boxing matches and making money. Now, I mean, we are speaking from a fan's point of view where we want to see the best fight the best. But we're not speaking from a fighter's point of view, okay? Like if I'm getting hit in the head about 300 times a match and I make, let's say, Tyrone, I make one of the Charlo brothers, I make $2 million to fight a Charlo, okay? A guy who can ring my bell and he will hurt me no matter what in that ring. Or I can make $5 million fighting Logan Paul. Now, from a fighter's perspective, which one you think you're going to do? You going to fight Charlo, who can get you out of there, or can you make? Because again, you got to maximize your earning while you have it. Because any one of those hits in boxing could make sure you never fight again. Do you fight?
Here's the problem. The problem with. Go ahead, Todd.
Newsflash. These are boxers. You signed up to fight. This ain't I signed up to protect myself. You a boxer. You know you're gonna get hit as soon as you step in the ring. Come on, man. And look, let me say something to you. Deontay Wilder, like Ty said, we being denied some really good fights. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3 is what I want to see. I'm not trying to wait to see these other cats go overseas and then the man is old and crippled fighting in the ring. Nobody want to see that, man. Let's see people at the top of their prime.
Right.
I think I'm going to back up what Ty said, but historically we have to look at why guys had to fight each other. Because one, we didn't have all these belts 25, 30 years ago. You had a belt for every division. And if you wanted that belt, you had to go to somebody's neighborhood to get it. And people just lined up. Who's next? Now we got 6 belts in every division. We got the ABC belt, the XYZ belt. Cats are, there's too many.
The promoters represent each belt. That's the problem too.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'm big like you guys. The 80s and the 90s, the early 80s when Hagler was fighting Hearns and Hearns was fighting Leonard. 2 and 3 times because there was one belt, so you couldn't get beat by a cat and then go fight for the boo boo belt. 2 divisions over and call yourself a champ. So now we got you got one division with 4 champs. I think you need to unify all those belts, 1 champ per division, and there won't be all this ducking and dodging and hand picking, dummy fights to pad your pockets.
Well, guys, I really think these exhibition type bouts, the Logan Pauls of the world and Nate Robinsons, one, it really brings interest of boxing to people who have never really are not fans like us. Like once these promoters found out these YouTubers have like 100 million followers and 50 million followers, okay? And when what's that guy's name? K1, KSI, that guy, whatever his name is, fought Logan Paul, and they did something like 20 million buys, like the same amount as a Mayweather fight. That's when Eddie Hearn realized, shucks, I got something. I'll put them on an undercard of a legitimate fight because they have so many followers who want to see what happens. And in my opinion, it's like it shows people, wow, this is not just a thing where you could just put on gloves and a guy who looks fit and a guy who looks big gonna come out on top. It brings a lot of interest to people who have never seen boxing before and realize, man, I thought for sure Nate Robinson was gonna do something, and he got in there and he got sucker laid him out like a mattress out there, And I think it brings interest to people who have never really watched boxing before.
Yeah, but the problem is
here's my question.
Go ahead.
Is it boxing? Is it really boxing?
It's not.
It's the rules.
Not the sweet science. I'm sorry.
It's the rule. They're fighting with the rules of boxing. Are they boxers? Probably not. But they're fighting under the rules of boxing. So they're not boxers, but they're fighting in a ring. They have a standing. They probably have a standing 8, 3 knockdown rule. No kicking. No punching behind the head. So it's just like if I'm playing pickup ball. Am I still playing? I'm not an NBA player, but I'm still playing basketball. I might not be the best, but I'm still playing ball.
But you know the fundamentals. The fundamentals of basketball.
Right.
I mean, it would be ridiculous to watch somebody.
You got 4 guys. You got 4 guys in this room right now, right?
Right.
I would bet money that any one of us 4 who has a basic knowledge of boxing and a 1-2 punch would knock any of these clowns out.
Right.
I don't disagree with you. I feel like I can knock both of them out too.
Yeah. So why would I want to watch that?
Go ahead, Tyrone.
Here's my problem. Why do I have to go look at the big network for it? If YouTube got involved with it, see, the only thing that's stopping from YouTube doing it is because of boxing commission. It's got to be sanctioned by some type of commission. But if any platform, look what's happening with the movie theaters now, right? Everything is now going to HBO Max and streaming services. Who's going to go to the movies to go see a movie now, especially with COVID going on? So if this happens, if this condition stays the way it is, movies are going to be gone. Well, ABC, ESPN, Showtime, all these channels, they build up their money from commercials and putting money out there for promotion. But YouTube is its own promotion channel. If they decided to get into the fight game and promoted a fight, that the money would be lost on the real boxers. So the boxers, by doing this and allowing this to happen and not giving people the fights they want to see, is going to allow the spectacle of people who want to see a knockout anyway. They don't really want to look at Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao and see how Floyd Mayweather turned Pacquiao into a counterpuncher. They just said it was a boring fight because they wanted to see Floyd Mayweather get knocked out. Let's be real. The reason why Floyd Mayweather made his money is because people hate him, not because they appreciate his boxing skills. As good as he is and not being punched by Canelo, they really paid to see him get knocked out, not to see him fight with the greatest of ease and look like Baristikov around the ring. They're not paying him to see that. They want to see him get knocked out.
That's a good point, Tyrone, that if the spectacles take over, that it could possibly destroy boxing's value because people who don't understand the sport are just going to go see a knockout and they'll want to see Tyson versus Roy Jones at 80 years old or
Right.
LeBron fight, a fan or something from Atlanta or something. You know what I mean? Just to see.
Right.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Don?
And I'll pay to see LeBron
do you
fight
guys-
that dude from Atlanta. I'll pay to see LeBron fight the dude from the audience. I'll pay for that.
Me too.
Do you guys remember? And once again, Tyron and I are on the same page. And this goes back to media and stuff. Do you guys remember the Budweiser series growing up?
Yes.
ABC
I remember the
ABC Budweiser series, where we could watch top up and coming boxers every Sunday or every Saturday on ABC.
Yep.
I watched Meldrick Taylor on that from his very first fight, and then he started fighting Buddy McGirt, and watched him all the way up to where he fought Chavez.
Oh my God!
But I watched all of that on ABC.
Right.
On ABC when anybody and everybody could tune in, and real boxing fans were able to watch quality fights. And there was no name guys when they started with it, but it was good quality fights. And those guys, moved up through the ranks, and then once they got to a certain point, they went to pay-per-view. But you got to see fighters come up, and we don't have that anymore. It's like what was it? Not Lovekin, but Lomo.
Who's that?
The last fight. Nomo. What do they call him? Lomachenko.
Oh yeah, Lomachenko.
Yeah. So I'm not embarrassed to say I didn't know much about the guy. He had 15 fights. He was named the heir apparent, which we all realized that he wasn't, but we never had a chance to watch this guy. He had a great amateur career supposedly, but we didn't get a chance to see it. We're missing out. I think we're missing out on that when it comes to, one, to your point, David, people really learning about and getting into the sport. And two, just seeing fighters as they progress. Now as they show up on HBO or they show up on pay-per-view and like, okay, that's the next dude.
Right. This is what I'll say. I'll tell you this much. If Lamar Odom loses this match, if the NBA loses another fight to a white kid with tattoos, a blonde white kid, their street cred is gone, Jack. I know that much. I know if another NBA player gets knocked out and laid out and they singing hymns over him like Snoop was doing, I know their street cred is gone, Jack. I can tell you that much.
Is there a drug test for this fight? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Both of them have issues.
It wouldn't be a fight.
The boxers have issues, so I don't think either one of them would pass the test.
They might need a transfusion before the fight. Yeah.
But they did say this. They said that both of them are taking it seriously and putting the work in the gym. So that's something to be said. Now, I do say this to kind of counter some of the points we made earlier and to affirm David's point, and that is we do get up for fights that, are amateur style. I think you have to have in your mindset, okay, this is an amateur match. So, going to Friday night fights, not a professional. But some of them been working out in the gym. They don't have these so-called, the boxing prowess and stuff. But we are pretty much engaged watching the fight. And
that guy who sung the Star Spangled Banner was impressive when he knocked out that guy when I went.
That sucker sang the Star Spangled Banner and knocked the dude out after.
Yeah, but to Don, to your point, remember when they got rid of it, the doctor against the lawyer, the newspaper guy against the plumber,
grudge match,
fireman versus policeman, and then they, even in the Friday night fight things, they stopped doing that and went to a more, amateur. Real amateur boxers, some of them, needed some work.
Right.
But, I think, like you said, Don, it's kind of what mine said. If you're looking for some pure entertainment and a good laugh, that's the way to go. Here's a question I'd like to ask.
Okay.
Where are you guys with the Over the Hill gang coming back in boxing and creating that circuit that they're trying to create of retired fighters trying to relive their glory days by fighting each other again in what I call "Don't Hurt Me, I Don't Hurt You" matches?
Let me take this one to start off with. I'm fine with it as long as it's not exploiting the fighters. Meaning, as long as the fighters are not doing this because they need a paycheck, and you try the guy who's like 55 years old out there to fight a mismatch for another guy who needs a paycheck, then I don't like it. But if the guys still have it relatively, you know what I mean? Like Mike Steele, to me, in my opinion, he looked pretty good. He had some good fundamentals and he had to get himself in shape and stuff like that. He actually looked pretty good. Like he could take some C-level fighters today. You know what I mean? And he's got all the money that he needs through the the marijuana sales that he has, the corporation. So whereas Roy, I don't know. So I feel like
Look like Ned the Wino.
I feel like if they're doing it because they have something
bad.
left in the tank, yeah, go ahead. But if they're exploiting the fighters, digging up guys, hey, you need $1 million, you know, and a guy got to lose 100 pounds to get in shape and they need it for a paycheck because they're struggling. Nah, I'm not with it, you know. But I got to say, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the match, to be honest with you, with Roy and Mike Tyson. I enjoyed it. Tyrone?
I'm not about it, man. I mean, if they were sponsored by Geritol, you know, maybe, but I don't want to see them old cats fight, especially if it's an exhibition, bruh. You know, if y'all really gonna let them fight, where y'all can just unleash Tyson and let him hit, then I'll be like, okay, I'll watch it, bruh. But look, that's Tyson. Tyson made that fight from what he was doing before the fight, training and hitting the mitts and stuff like that. And everybody said, "Ooh, man, Iron Mike is back." They even really wanted to see him with a real boxer today, like. So, but I don't want to see Evander Holyfield go in there and fight Lennox Lewis. I don't want to see that. That's not going to do anything for me. It's really about the popularity. So that's why Mike Tyson was able to get away with it. But, you know, I'll watch some of these French fights just to see what would happen, you know. I'll see like Layla Ali fight somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to see how she fares against some of these young fighters, you know. But outside of that, it's got to be name brand people, bro. I don't want to see they bring Riddick Bowe out and he can't even, you know, say the Pledge of Allegiance before the fight. You know what I'm saying?
You have a roll of duct tape, though.
I'm kind of torn on this because deep down inside, I wanted to see Roy Jones get knocked out by Tyson.
Right.
Being a Tyson fan, I know he still has the power. And when Tyson started unloading some of the shots on it, he started doing a jab grab technique where he could try to grab a whole grab technique to try
That's called intelligence.
Huh?
That's called intelligence.
Yeah. Well, he was too intelligent for me to make it a fun event.
That's called survival. That's what that's called.
Survival too. But I mean, something deep down inside for us, we've always been rooting for you guys for so long, and you never want to see them go out the way that, you know, life portrays it. I mean, when I think about Tyson, and we think about how great he really was as an amateur and then a pro, and then to see what happened to him in his career, it does something to you, and you would love them to relive their glory days. Sort of like Ali. You know, Ali in his prime could not be beat, and then they took those 3 years from him. Then here's a man that's having to always come back as the underdog to get the championship again and again. And, you know, you just love that spirit he had. And it kind of parallels being black in America to me, because, you know, being a black man in America, because it seems like America takes away your strength and your youth and your prime, and then you're always trying to reinvent yourself as a black man in America. So, I mean, I think that's why deep down inside, I kind of root for these boxers who, you know, have had this skill and this wonderful talent and weren't able to achieve the records that they could have in their career and the dominance and greatness.
All right. Well, let's all very good. Let's do this quickly because we'll go to the next topic. What's your prediction? Who do you think is going to win between Lamar Odom and Aaron Carter?
It's going to be a draw.
Ooh. Don?
I think Lamar got him 6'10", 6'1". As long as he stays upright and doesn't try to crouch down to get hit by one of them little lucky shots by this cat, he should get him to death and get him out of there.
Tyrone?
Have y'all ever seen this old movie called Let's Do It Again?
Mm-hmm. Bill Cosby.
Remember when?
Did they
Yes. Well, J.J. Watt was fighting this other cat, and they started doing the hypnosis thing, and then they ended up knocking each other out. That's what I predict.
You'll put the whammy on him, huh?
Put the whammy on both of them, bro. They're going to knock each other out, bro. They probably going to collapse from the rigor it takes to run around the ring, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. It's no joke.
All right, look,
Yeah,
that exercise is no joke. People think they can do boxing. Man, 3 minutes in, what, 1 minute rest? Man, come on. It's not that easy to do.
Look, I'll tell you what I would pay to see, though. When we talk about legends, I would love to see legends like Mike Tyson and those guys fight these armchair fighters who think it's easy. Oh, I could fight Mike Tyson. I'm in good.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I would pay to see. Like a professional who might be past their prime fight, a guy's got all kind of muscles and think they can do stuff. Now, that's the kind of exhibition I would pay to see. A guy's talking trash and think that they could do things because they're in shape and they get a rude awakening in the gym.
Yeah, they had a show called Pros versus Joes.
Yes.
Yeah, Ty, you took it out my word. Joes versus pros. That's they had a show like that.
Yeah.
Y'all remember George Foreman that night when we took on 3 jokers at once?
Yes.
Line them up, knock them down. Line them up, knock them down. Knock them all out. Last guy let him. George got a little tired on that last one, but he got him out of there.
Yep. Yeah. I remember for those guys in one night. So our next topic is the NBA All-Star Game. Commissioner Silva originally said with the shortened season they were not going to have an All-Star Game, but they reversed course and said this year we will be having an All-Star Game. LeBron James said it's a slap in the face to have a shortened season and then the 5-day break he would have with his family that they announced an All-Star Game with like very few fans, like a couple thousand fans in I think it's going to be held in Atlanta if I'm not mistaken. That's a slap in the face. What are y'all thoughts on the COVID season? And do y'all think it's necessary to have an All-Star Game or is it a waste of time?
I think that is the potential for it being problematic is too great to do. And I'll tell you why. You're going to have all your stars under the same umbrella, and what if all of them get COVID? Then the second half of your season or the race for the people that you want to be in first and second and third place can change if your stars miss 2 weeks, which could be possibly 7, 8 games, 2-3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have all your stars. That's like, me, you, and Don, the 3 men of our family, go and take a risky little janky plane trip somewhere. You wouldn't want everybody to be widowed at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So why would you put everybody through your best stars that could potentially miss the next 3, 4, 5 weeks or whatever with COVID issues? It's just not smart to me.
All right. Don, what you got?
Go ahead.
Let Todd get in there.
I agree with Ty. It doesn't make any sense. Why expose folks to danger or infecting their families? Doesn't make any sense. Sorry about that, guys.
Uh-oh. Hello.
The bathroom.
It brings up the question, like in the other sports, is there an opt-out option? If the NBA league says, we're going to do this, can the players opt out? So you know what? Cool. Thanks for the invite, but I'm not going. That would be the question I have. And on a less serious note, every game is the All-Star game. And I'm going to leave that right there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I agree with Todd and Ty. I mean, you're putting your players at risk, getting all your stars in one bubble. That you're taking a chance. I mean, last night I thought it was kind of risky that KD got in the game for Brooklyn, then because they thought the test of his close associate was false. There, turns out it was really positive after he had played a quarter and a half. Then they pulled him in the third quarter after he started playing, and they lost. But we don't know how many players they may lose because the ball. So You know, this is a risky thing when you're talking about COVID, and the problem is when you contact it and then when you're contagious. You don't know when you're contacted, and you don't know when you're contagious, and that's when you can do the most harm. When you're contagious, and is it worth that risk? You know, really, is it worth it?
You know, I'm more on a. Those are all good points. I mean, you have all of your all stars in one place, and then if they all get infected, your season is shot. Because who wants to see Dellavedova and Mozgov play a Wednesday night against, you know, J.R. Smith and Joe Harris? You know what I mean? So that's really jeopardizing your product by putting them all in one place during a pandemic. But on another note, be a man of your word. If you said we're not having an all-star break, and people are planning around to be with their family during that one time, and they're on the road constantly now with COVID, because it's not like you play Atlanta once and then you fly somewhere else. You're going to spend 2 nights in Atlanta, and you're going to spend 2 nights to knock all those games out back to back to back the way the new schedule is. If you say you're not having it, don't have it, okay? Don't worry about making a little bit extra money. The guys went and performed for you in a bubble, and I was one of the people skeptical about it. Man, how is this going to work with the bubble? Is everybody going to bring their A game? They were compelling games. The games were great, and I watched them. So that the players were men of their words. Be a man of your word. You say there's no all-star break, stay to it and say no all-star break. You know, so that's my thought.
I got a question for you. Is Lou Williams going to be part of the All-Star game? Because maybe he's the one champion Atlanta to be the part of it, you know, so he can go get some lemon pepper wings, you know.
But I mean, he ain't gonna be in there. I mean, if there's an all-star, but you know where he will be in Atlanta. He might be there around the.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Magic City.
Well, we didn't ask Todd his predictions. We can't let Todd get off this call without giving us his Super Bowl prediction.
Oh yeah, wait. We missed another thing too, because I for some reason I always slip up. What are you drinking too? Because we always ask our guests what they're drinking.
It's a little Chardonnay. You know, I'm a little foo-foo.
You're the second guest to bring out that skinny girl wine on us, brother.
Hey, bro, I'm trying to stick around.
Wine is the place to go, Todd. I agree with you.
Yeah, I had to let Jack go. He was
leave Jack alone.
He was coming by the house and then leaving quick. Didn't stick around. I'm like, man, he would never stay long.
What you got for your Super Bowl prediction?
I'm going with Tampa. And it's not because of Tom Brady. Let's look at what they did. They were an average ball team 4 weeks ago. That defense came together, and the dude named Devin White is their game changer. He can run from sideline to sideline. He can stop the run. They went into New Orleans and handed it to us because they made some adjustments on defense. We could handle their offense. We couldn't handle their defense. Then they turned around and went up to Lambeau in 24-degree weather and handed it to Green Bay. They took out 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, made them look silly 2 weeks in a row. I like them in a close game.
Let me say this for 1 second. How you turning to us? I thought you were a big Phillies Eagle fan. Now you said they gave it to us.
Now you know good and well I let go of them cats about 15 years ago.
I thought you were a big Philadelphia Eagles fan, man.
No, sir. I was born and raised an Eagles fan, but they are the worst. I mean, you see what happened this year. That's the type of organizations the Eagles are. They back into a good team every 10, 12 years. No, seriously. And they exploit that.
Right.
Yeah, accidentally have a good team. They've got the most loyal fan base that you probably ever want to see. Stadium has been sold out 10 years in advance. So it's just about the bottom line. So I just got tired of that. I mean, I went through the McNabb years and all that suffering. I went through the Randall Cunningham years and all that suffering. Lived through all that. These great teams that couldn't get over the top because the investment wasn't made. And then, you go from 12-3 every year to 4-12 for 2 years run, and then you build up. So, I mean, Laurie's got a good scam going. I ain't mad at him. I can't follow him.
Let me ask you this question. When are you going to get out the house, brother, and go to the Las Vegas with us when we actually go to these boxing matches? I've been trying to get you on a plane for about a year and a half, bro. And every time I bring it up, your plans get vetoed, bro. What's going to happen this year?
Hold up. Turn the mic down. I'm gonna get there one of these days, bro. I'm gonna get there one of these days, bro.
You want me to block
just get busy.
When I post on Facebook, you want me to block Dr. Reynolds, so she doesn't see?
No, because she's gonna see mine.
Oh, that's true.
No, we gonna make it one day. We're gonna make it one day. I do get out and play a lot of golf though. So
why are you telling him to play, Dave? You can't tell him to play. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to put him on blast, bro, to get him out the house. T, I'm trying to put him out there, bro.
You gotta sneak him out, bro. You can't put it. You gotta sneak him out.
Man, we can't sneak this kid out for 3 days, man.
Out the country.
He's on a special ops mission.
Who y'all picking?
Tyrone picked Tampa. I think Don, you picked Tampa too, right?
No, Don picked Kansas City.
You pick KC, I pick KC. So we're split even. 2 Tampas, 2 KCs.
Yeah, the KC's ability to. I mean, you look at last Super Bowl, and when you're sitting there with our lips poked out and mad till about 9 minutes left, and then
came alive.
All hell broke loose, right. And 28 points went on, and San Fran was sitting there like, what happened? I don't know if they can pull that out. I know they're going to score. I think they're going to score. Right. But I think Tampa's defense is going to get some stops too.
Okay. Well,
and then Brady's going to do Brady. He's going to get him 20, 21. All right. So we'll see. Hopefully, I think it'll be a good game though. I'm thinking 27-21.
27-21. Okay. That sounds like a good score.
Something like that.
Well, gentlemen, I got to thank you, Todd Reynolds, for being on our show today.
Thank you for the invite.
We talked last time about having a remote show once COVID calms down. We will take the show on the road for our next boxing match and do a show live from Las Vegas or London or wherever the next big fight is going to be. Hopefully we're
Haley.
What's that?
OC Haley.
OC. Or you want broadcast live from Friday Night Fights?
There you go.
Well, we definitely thank you for being on. We're going to have you on again. Tyrone, thanks for being mobile and coming with us as well. Don as well. Everybody else, you can always join in on the show. Hit us in our inbox. Don't forget to follow us at Shoot the J. And we will see y'all next week.
Thank you.